Hi, my name is Pule Moekoa. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Drop Financial Consultants. Pule Moekoa is an entrepreneur. I'm someone who actually loves an accounting, and I really would like to share more about myself. I started the business years ago, I think 2011, as an entrepreneur. This was after I actually left my employment at government institution municipality, and then I went to start an accounting firm called Drop Financial Consultant. Pule Moekoa is an economy analyst and also an accountant as well as such as an accountant, if I want to put it in a very specific way. Pule Moekoa is also a radio analyst, economy analyst, and I'm using the platforms like radio stations at SABC and then international radio stations like Star FM at Zimbabwe, Motsweding FM in Northwest, and also radio stations in Lesotho. Like PCFM, Ultimate FM, and other radio stations. I'm also using the SABC2 as a platform where I actually share economy analyst and advices in terms of the economy. Pule Moekoa is, like I said, an entrepreneur. So I started after resigning from my employer, which was Toto Municipality. I started this accounting firm, and then my intentions was to help small businesses and then other people individually in terms of compliances, accounting, and also financial management. I really have a very good background about accounting. I studied cost and management accounting from Valley University of Technology, and that gave me the opportunity to actually know much about the accounting and businesses. I also studied accounting technicians from AAT from England, which was under the program supplied by National Treasury of South Africa. I was also studying virtually from the same National Treasury of South Africa. I'm a very good person in terms of finances and advices, and I love to advise. Most importantly, that's why I specialize. I love to advise people about their money and then their finances, and also how to plan their future. Drop Financial Consultants, it's my accounting firm. I started this firm in 2011, and this was after I resigned from the municipality. However, this accounting firm has some challenges. For example, you would recall that in 2009, there was an issue about COVID-19 where people actually struggled much about their finances, and much of the economy was lapsing in all national and international platforms. So Drop Financial Consultant, amongst those entrepreneurs, was also affected by the COVID-19. Drop Financial Consultant was sponsored by Kagiso Tiso Holding in 2016 to be incubated at Race Corp, where we were showing some of our talents as an entrepreneur and individual. I myself was selected amongst the individuals in South Africa to be part of the program, and the program incubated myself and my company to be where it is currently as one of the best entrepreneurs, or one of the growing levels of entrepreneurship under these services. Also to become a supplier inside the Kagiso Tiso Holding, working with the same Kagiso Tiso Holding. It's an investment company, big one, and it's actually helping much of the small businesses around the country. So we actually helped the Kagiso Tiso Holding with tax services which Drop Financial Consultant was providing. I believe that starting a business has huge impact in my life, has also brought some challenges as an individual, and also business on itself had challenges. If I start with myself, some of the challenges I faced was to have financial challenges at home. You would realize that as an entrepreneur, sometimes you sacrifice some funds for capital operation and for certain expenses which you have to cover by yourself as an entrepreneur. However, that gives a barrier to your family members, where you find that kids or your partner would actually not be happy when you take funds to operate the business. But then if you takes that as an investment, that would be very important. The most important challenge faced by entrepreneurs when it comes to financial challenges family wise is we don't discuss our financial problems with our partners. We don't also share our goals and our dreams with our partners. We normally intend to have the business established and running and making money without telling our partners. However, that is a challenge which I faced myself, because somehow there was a very serious issue where kids would not even pay transport for schools, and sometimes we would actually have a very serious issue where families was not happy. So this challenge is one of the most serious and underrated challenge which many entrepreneurs do not focus on by discussing or communicating with their partners. And you will find that sometimes depression, stress also affect the family issues and then affect the business as well. And you end up not operating the business very well because of these small issues which you are not attending. This is one of the big challenges I faced myself personally. And on the side of the business, the challenges like COVID-19 brought a huge one, where I ended up having employees working remotely, and sometimes you would not find our accountants or employees not providing good services to customers, because we are actually a compliant company and we provide in-person self-services, where you find our accountants attend schools, attend customers personally, and then they would actually engage with the owners of those companies. However, during COVID-19, that was difficult, and most of our employees could actually earn salaries without equivalent rate of hours that they were supposed to earn. Some of our employees would actually do some visual consultation on the street where there's sound, and most of the time customers would complain that they could not even hear consultation or advices from our accountants, and that made us lose huge amount of contracts or money based on those challenges we faced. However, I decided to cut numbers of employees remotely, and then I decided to leave. I think there were 15. I left with 5, which we started to monitor every movement of their operation in terms of the consultation. This solution was assisted by the systems which implemented from online systems like Take On, and then Take Systems and Sage as well, so that they can report remotely even though they were under the COVID-19, but we could actually monitor everything which the accountant provided. Fast forward after 2019, you'd realize that COVID-19 also brought some consequences where people could not even have funds in their businesses. Myself as well as the business, I had to issue some shares to shareholders outside of the operation of the business, so that they can buy and then provide us with the capital, because we had issues of paying rent, and these issues was actually very huge, and we were supposed to issue shares to cover this challenge. And then added to that, where we faced customers leaving the contract before the end of time, and we were struggling much because some of the contracts were actually having huge amount of revenue for our business, but then when customers decided to cut that before time, then that actually gave us a very huge barrier. Now I solved the challenge by removing some of the visual services to online services, where we actually contracted and then called the Alibaba as well, and then Alibaba gave us a contract which we supplied some of our services. Yes, they are actually accepting physical product, but then in terms of that, we have to leverage our service and convert some of those to accounting written documents like policies, accounting of policies to run your business, or policies to run to manage your assets, and a few things in your business in the form of accounting. And that is selling in a very good method where we are making revenue. Now the challenge was solved, but not 100% solved. Because we are still carrying on with the business challenges. Some of the challenges is transportations of our product, and also manufacturing of our product, which we need or requires capital to operate such services. However, we still having good suppliers who are having a good contract with us, and then with a very marginal charges for accounting services in this form. It is a temporary solution currently we are providing, because we wanted to bring back our mainstream services where we provide asset and management accounting to schools around South Africa. And that is also one of the solutions which we are going to provide currently. We wanted to reach all schools around South Africa to make sure that all schools' assets like textbooks, desk, computers, and all those assets that they own them and have asset register for such assets, so that they can provide compliance to the department. We also believe that at Drop there is much room to grow for such services as schools and also companies which own assets. We know that most companies do not manage these assets in a proper way, especially those who are insuring the assets. And most of the time you'll find that, like, when, if I can make an example, when there's a strike, or when there is a riot around the community, most of the communities, they attack schools' assets. They normally would put fire, or would actually attack gates or something. And then you'll find that insurances have a problem when it comes to paying those assets if they are not under the asset register. And also principals or owners of the businesses would not know how much assets they have at the time when the incident happened. And such issues, we actually came with a very huge solution where we would actually manage their assets and provide asset register. I believe it's going to be a very huge, and also it's going to create jobs, which is one of the challenges not faced by us only, but by our country as well, where we would like to employ many individuals who are going to count assets physically around the country, and then around especially Gauteng. So I believe that we are going to be a very huge support structure to our country economic way of employment creation. Drop Financial Consultant, it's based in Sentim, Rivonia, where we have our office there, and we have currently operated under the visual with some of our employees currently. So if many or much of people would like to have our contact, then you would actually visit us at Drop Financial Consultants by checking or searching www.dropfc.co.za, or you can send us an email to info@dropfc.co.za, or call us directly to 073 058 6311. We really would love to have much of our services across Gauteng and South Africa in a very important aspect of our economy growing. Myself as an entrepreneur, taking out Drop Financial Consultant aside, I really would like to advise some of small business owners to say, don't be negligent to some of the important issues like communication for your business, and mostly try to, by all means, to be patient and have passion for your business. At the most, or at most important, make sure that you have the financial management. We don't need much money to start business. We just need much financial management. The small amount you have to start a business, have a good or average huge amount of knowledge when it comes to managing those funds to run the business, because that is the background that can take you to where you can leverage your business into a growth. Most entrepreneurs normally we tend to have a lifestyle more than the business itself, and then that is actually a very huge challenge that most entrepreneurs cannot win or cannot actually leverage when it comes to business operation. So my advices would be, try by all means to make sure that you have passion and you have management of your money. You don't need to be an accountant. You just have to manage the funds you have. Try by all means to make sure that you use your funds when they have profit, not by the time when they are already injected inside the business account. One most important part which I nearly forgot was, when you have a business, it's very important to have a bank account. And a bank account has some challenges, where, like, for example, bank charges, sometimes debit orders running, and then they're taking your funds. So from Drop Financial Consultant perspective, we tried to come with a solution where we assist the customers to have 3 bank accounts, where at least one would be an investment account, 2 would be just a bank account to receive money, 3 would be the bank account where you are actually going to pay suppliers and employees. So that is actually going to assist you in terms of leveraging the financial management. And how do you manage this? It means that the 50% of the money you receive, you can transfer it to the investment account, while the 50% can remain in the operational account where you operate the business. And the profit that can be generated from that 50%, the second 50%, you can transfer to another third account where you are just saving for your lifestyle, for your other things, for things that you would like to have beside the business. And that, we believe it's going to be a solution to help small businesses so that they don't play around one bank account while the business is operating. And that is actually one of the things that I nearly forget, and thanks for that. I really would like to end this interview by saying, entrepreneurs, make sure you love your business. Make sure you know your path, and then you know your history, so that at least you are actually jangling around what you love to operate. It's a very huge challenge. It's a very huge and long journey when you run a business without support, especially black businesses. However, if you can consult with accountants, if you can try to not maybe employ accountants, but consult with accountants who manage your finances or who can advise, and most importantly, be on attentively to listen, because most entrepreneurs, they tend to say, it's my business, I cannot hear, I cannot listen to anyone, no one can instruct me. So this is a challenge, because when you have an accountant is like a teacher to you, where in most of cases you pay their fees, small fees, and then you started to listen to their advices. Believe me, their advices are made for your brain, because your brain would actually be for the product, but their brain are actually made for your replacement of your brain, so that at least you don't need to think deeper about money. They can think for you and they can give you. Yours is just to implement what they just said. You will succeed, believe me. This is just example I can just make, like, if you can take it like at school where you have a teacher. You don't need to be like a teacher to be educated. You just listen to the teacher in the class, and the teacher will help you to provide you with knowledge. And if you use that knowledge, you will pass your exams. Thank you very much.